Got a 2018 Kia Sedona with a check engine light and all kinds of lights on the dash. The owner's having a lot of trouble with this one. So he gave me a call. I said, bring it on over. Let's get plugged in with the Innova 5610 and see if we can figure out what's going on. Hey, what's up YouTube? Dan the Fix-It Man. Got another quick video here for you. We've got a 2018 Kia Sedona. Now I have the owner here with me, and he said that it kind of all started about a year or year and a half ago when the battery was bad and he had a lot of corrosion on the battery. He ended up getting a new battery, or took it to a shop and they said, yeah, you need a new battery. Put in the battery, cleaned up the terminals, and it kind of fixed the problem for a while, but then he had that problem come back. This is Jake, and I'm going to let him tell you a little bit about what's going on.
Took it to my local shop. They gave me a couple codes, can't remember what they are right off the top of my head.
U0101 and U0001.
So local shop didn't want to fully deal with it, which I understand. But they did say that the battery was swollen and it was corroded. So it was under warranty, took it to AutoZone, got a new battery. Once again, cleaned it up the best of my ability, and then brought it over to Dan.
So it's happening again. It's kind of like the dash lights up.
Yep.
And you got a check engine light going again. Now you also said that there might be an issue with rats, or you were worried about maybe rats chewing some wires, or you had another vehicle that happened.
Yeah, I had another car that all the wiring, the whole harness had to be replaced. And you can see in here,
yeah.
It's a little dark, but had some chewing here and evidence of rats.
All right, well, let's get plugged in with the Innova 5610 scan tool. That's the scan tool that I use. Hopefully that can at least point us in the right direction. And if it still has those same codes, that at least will let us know what's going on. Those codes may no longer be present because he just put in the battery, but those are the codes that he got from the shop. Those codes that I read off, those are for the CAN bus system. It's kind of a generic code saying that the ECM or PCM or TCM cannot communicate properly. Basically, that's the communication network that this car uses, and we may have an issue with that, or something, you know, might not be hooked up. But the first thing we always want to check is powers and grounds, and of course we'll take a look at that and verify our voltage on the battery. Let's just get this plugged in first and see what we come up with. Let's go in and do an all module scan and see what we can find there. We'll pull that up here in a minute and see if we have any DTCs in any of the modules. Okay, so it says we've got one of 14 modules here. So the first one, electronic stability control. First one that has a couple DTCs. Let's click on those. Well, there you go. CAN hardware failure. Only system with TCS. HECU CAN communication. SRS supplemental restraint system. We've got 3 there. That says the passenger occupant detecting system, communication error, and battery voltage low. Body control module, we've got 1 there. CAN bus off. What else do we have? 4 DTCs and the occupant detection sensor. Okay, we might have some issues there. And TPMS. There you go. CAN bus off. CAN bus off. Now we definitely do have an issue here with the communication system and that CAN bus system in this car. That could be due to some rodent damage, as Jake was thinking. It might be some wires are chewed somewhere, but it could be just a bad connection there at the battery, and that's something I want to inspect a little bit closer. Now Jake was also telling me off camera he was a little concerned with that positive cable connection on the battery. He said he cleaned it up as best he could, but he was never really able to fully tighten the positive cable. So he solved that by buying a little reducer cap, or a little cap that enlarges the battery post so that you can clamp down that terminal a little bit better. When he was explaining that to me, I thought to myself, well, I definitely want to get in there and take a look at that. So we'll start with the battery and the grounds, and maybe just kind of do a better visual inspection around the engine bay, maybe even crawl underneath and see if we have any evidence of any chewed wires. Sometimes the connectors to the main computer can be loose, and we may pop that off and take a look at that as well. But let's take a look at the battery first and go from there. I'm going to pull this little air intake off. Just a couple snaps here. Looks like they've been replaced with the little Christmas tree style, but this just comes right out. I'll pull the ground here first. That looks pretty clean. We had a good connection on that side. So this is that little cap you were saying?
It's like a sleeve that goes over the post.
And look at that. I can actually wiggle it right off. I'm not sure that was the best connection. Let's get this out of here and see what's going on. Looks like some corrosion still kind of in between these plates on this positive cable. You did a pretty good job cleaning it up, but I wonder if there's some contact issue in between there. So I think I'm going to take this apart and then we'll get it cleaned up and see if we can make that better. Now I took off this first 10mm nut here, and it looks like that's kind of like a little tapered thing that's supposed to pull this tight, and it doesn't really look like it's doing a very good job. Let's see if we can take this apart or disconnect the cables, and we'll get this cleaned up. We'll pop that cap out of there, and I'm thinking we might be able to either replace this or do something a little bit better and maybe make better contact. But I'm wondering right there if that might have been our issue, because this was kind of loose. Yeah, I'm really not too happy with that right there. You see that? That connection, there's a lot of corrosion in there. That might be some of our issue. You know, just a lot of buildup of corrosion, and sometimes that causes problems. This is the little piece that you put in there. It's a good solution if, you know, you don't have a good setup. This is also worn out. The little skirt right here is bent in. So let's see if we can find one of these, maybe at the Kia dealer, and maybe replace that. Let's see if we can pop this piece out. This is the little fuse piece. That's not too bad on top. That's pretty clean and shiny on the bottom too. Clean that before we put it back in. A little bit of green crusty stuff on there. We'll clean that up too. These cables will just come out, I think. The cables don't look bad, but take a look at that. So this is all sitting in kind of this little slurry of corrosion. That just might be our issue. Some of those contacts might just be really, really dirty and not able to make a good, clean connection. I know you cleaned in here with a...
Right.
You did like the baking soda trick, but...
Yeah, but I didn't take this apart.
That's okay. Let me see, this little stud pops out. Okay. We'll set that down here. Just clean all that corrosion out of there. Those green crusties just like to grow and spread, and they just kind of become a bigger issue. Good as new. All right, it's already looking better. Let's clean up this piece now. Now this is the kind of the piece in question. I do think that this is worn out. Now we can maybe put this in the vise and kind of re-bend this so that, you know, the cam action will still work when tightening this. But we're gonna run to Kia real quick, see if we can pick one of these up and then put this back together and see if that makes a difference. This is what we're looking for. I pulled it up online. I just don't know if that's a part number for the case or for the whole thing.
I was gonna say, I don't think I've ever seen this case. All right, yeah, this part number is just for this piece.
It is, okay.
What this is. Go ahead and sign on the pin pad for me, and you should be good to go. Have a great day.
All right, well, we ordered the little terminal connector here from Kia. I just thought I would take this opportunity to do a visual inspection and see if there is any damage from rodents. Now you can see some of the insulation here on the firewall is chewed, and that was kind of a clue that there might be an issue. Looks like our ground wires here look like they're in pretty good shape. I don't see any evidence of any chewing, but I don't see anything down here on this side, on the engine side. All of the wiring seems to be intact so far. Now I know sometimes these connectors can come loose. It has this little lock here that you pull back to undo this. There we go. Quite a bit of dust in there. A lot of people have said that this connector is a pretty common culprit. As of right now though, the corrosion that we saw is probably the most likely culprit. Yeah, lots of dust shaking out of these. Let's blow that out real quick. You know, that seems to fix a lot of video game cartridges, but let's see if that will help us. So just a nice firm press. We'll lock this one back. Let's do this one as well. And it's locked in place. So those connections didn't look too bad. I don't really think that was an issue, but you know, maybe a little bit of dust there. could have caused that additional resistance. But as of right now, my bet is still on the positive terminal here, but let's continue to look around for any other rodent damage. There's some other grounds and whatnot that we need to check down below. Now this is just on the front driver's side here, just below the engine, kind of the main frame rail here. Here's another ground, and these look like some computer grounds, but everything looks like it's in pretty good shape. No corrosion and no wires chewed or anything. Same thing with this side. I don't see any wires or anything at all that's been chewed. I'm happy to find these grounds intact. So let's look around a little bit more up above. I also just want to pop this fuse box open and just see if there's anything obvious. You know, it's a good idea to get in here, check everything, inspect all of the wiring. I'm going to use an iPhone because it seems to be a little bit easier to kind of examine each one of the fuses. I'll throw the footage up here as well for you, but you can kind of zoom in and see, at least with these clear top fuses, if there is a break or if one of them has blown. Now, a lot of issues with CAN bus can be solved, you know, just by pushing on things. Unfortunately, you know, sometimes you will have a computer module that's loose or a connection that's loose. Obviously, we took these ones off and cleaned them up, and everything's looking okay. I also grabbed this little inspection camera right here. This is also from Innova, and I wanted to at least do the best I could to really just get down in here and inspect all of the wiring, at least all of the little areas where a rodent or a mouse or a rat might have gotten into. You can see even the wiring underneath the fuse box looks like it's in pretty good shape. I just don't see anything that's been chewed here. Well, I'm not seeing any damaged wires or anything like that. You know, even using the inspection camera, I'm just not seeing any evidence or anything that's been chewed or damaged by a rodent. Now, if it doesn't end up being the bad positive terminal or the corrosion that's causing this issue, you know, there's other things that it could be. Besides rodent damage, you know, one of the modules could be bad that can cause that entire CAN bus system to stop working properly. Now, there's ways to check that even in the OBD port if you have all communication lost, but we don't have all communication lost. It still works, and we're still able to read each one of those systems, and it's telling us that there is a communication issue. Now, sometimes that code will trigger by timing out, or, you know, it's not getting the signal that it likes, and so it doesn't necessarily mean that our system is completely down, but we could check for the resistance along the two pins on the OBD port and verify that the CAN bus system is working between the high and the low CAN bus, or we could also test for a short to ground from either the high or the low side as well. Those are some things that we may have to troubleshoot a little bit further if this positive terminal doesn't end up being our fix. Hopefully it just ends up being that bad terminal and we can stop this video right there and call this one fixed. Kia just called and said that that's ready, so I'm going to head over there right now, pick that up and get it installed, hook up the battery, and hopefully that is all we need to do. Of course, we'll have to do a series of test drives here as well to verify and test that everything is good if that does give us a good signal, but hopefully we can get this sorted out. Part number is 919803X010. You know, it's just a really bad design overall. You know, I could probably crimp this or, you know, bend this out so that it would work, but really just seemed like a bad design to me, because by the time you pull this in, this is already too large and it wasn't clamping down on the battery. But plus it had some pretty heavy corrosion, so I just decided might as well just go ahead and change it. And there's the new one. All right, that fits down there nice and snug now, but let's tighten these ones here first. This one here in the back. Now this one. I'm pretty happy with that, so I'm glad we ended up buying this. Let's go ahead and tighten it down. Definitely biting in. Worked exactly the way I had hoped. Now we just need to tighten this main one here. All right, now that's what it's supposed to be like, nice and solid. So I am really happy with that. Let's go ahead and close this. Now we can put our ground on. And we'll make that one snug. Okay, our battery is now very nicely connected. This is going to give hopefully a nice consistent voltage to all of the modules and CAN bus system. So consistent voltage is really what it needs, and that really could have been our issue. But we'll find out here in a minute. Let's get this air intake put back in. All right, and let's go start it up. Okay, well, it's running pretty good here. Let's go ahead and erase everything. It says the erase was successful. Now it's going to rescan all of those modules. Okay, we do have one in the supplemental restraint system. Okay, so we still have this code here, the B1490-00 passenger occupant detecting system, ECU defect. Not related to our CAN bus system. So right now, nothing for the CAN bus has come back on. We may have just gotten lucky and that was our issue, but such a nice way to be able to check or confirm the repair. You know, otherwise we'd kind of just be guessing, even though we kind of were guessing, I'll admit. You know, diagnosing a CAN bus system, it can be pretty advanced, but it's very important to start with the basics, you know, powers and grounds. And as soon as I saw all the corrosion on that battery and a little bit of that backstory from the owner, I kind of started to suspect that that might be our issue, or at least our primary issue. Let's go for a quick test drive and we'll do another scan when we're done and make sure that nothing with that CAN bus system comes back. All right, we're gonna make a quick stop here at O'Reilly because I have got a surprise for this owner. Now, the company Innova is sponsoring this entire repair. They're sponsoring the part and diag time on this, but they're also going to gift the customer a brand new scan tool. The same model here that I use. This is the 5610 from Innova. I love this and I use it all the time, and they're going to gift that to this customer, and he has no idea. Customer's gonna be really excited to now have his own scan tool so he can not only diagnose this car, but some of his other vehicles as well, and he'll at least be able to read some codes and start to learn how to work on cars and maybe even do some of the repairs himself.
Good evening.
How you doing? I need to pick up another scan tool from this company Innova here. It's the 5610 model.
5610.
That's the one. Yes. Thank you so much. That's perfect. All right.
There you go.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. All right. Have a good one.
All right, bye-bye.
All right. We'll see you later. All right, well, we're back from a nice long test drive, and of course we picked up a new scan tool for the owner. But for right now, I just wanted to plug back in with my scan tool and verify that we don't have any other issues or anything pending before we give this back to him. Now, we still have the catalytic converter and O2 sensor monitors that are incomplete, and that's okay. That's of course because we disconnected the battery. But let's go into this system here. Let's do an all module scan one more time. Okay, let's scroll down through here. So here we still have the SRS supplemental restraint system. Now, I did look this up and it sounds like there might be a recall for this passenger occupant detecting system. Not really sure about that, but that is not related to our CAN bus system. And it looks like 0 DTCs elsewhere. OCS mat defect. Again, nothing to do with the CAN bus system. That's it. I'm gonna call the owner, let him know that he can come pick up his van now, and give him the news. All right, it is fixed. No more codes, and check engine lights off. The other day I asked you if you had a code reader or how you had gotten those codes, and I knew you had gotten it from that mechanic.
From the shop, yeah.
And they pretty much refused to work on it. They said, you know, take it somewhere else or take it to a specialist.
They didn't want to deal with it.
Okay. And did you go to Kia or did you talk to them about the issue?
I didn't, because I had talked to them before, like let's call it a year and a half ago, and they threw up their hands as well. And they said they pointed to rats, and they didn't charge me anything, but they didn't want to deal with it. So we don't really want to troubleshoot this. We just want to swap out, you know, the
harness. Yeah. Okay. As far as I can tell, it's fixed. Everything is working good. And I do have a surprise for you. So, you know, I showed you my scan tool that we were looking at. So this company, Innova, asked me to give that to you as a gift. Yeah. So that's the same exact tool that I use. Yeah. And that is a gift to you free of charge.
That's awesome.
They're also sponsoring the cost of this repair. The parts and everything is completely covered by Innova.
Totally appreciate it, and that's going to save me a lot of time in the future.
Well, now in the future, you have your own scan tool, so you can plug that into any car, not just this one, and you can read and erase codes, you can check codes, and you can always bring your car here. But having your own scan tool is really an awesome way to be able to diagnose and repair your vehicle. All right, well,
thanks,
you're very welcome, and just thanks to Innova for sponsoring this video. And
that's awesome. Thank you. you.
All right, well, we're going to call this one done, and the owner is very happy with his new gift. I hope you guys like this video. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you don't mind. That does help me out. And of course, I'll put a link in the description where you can pick up your very own Innova 5610 scan tool as well. Thanks so much for watching, and good luck.